India's final Champions Trophy squad. It has been revealed by the chairman of selectors Ajit, and here it goes. Rohit Sharma is going to captain the 15-member squad, and as expected, he is obviously going to lead the charge of this team. Shubman Gill is going to be his opening partner and also going to be India's vice captain, the designated vice captain for the Champions Trophy, the 8-team tournament. Virat Kohli, as expected, makes the cut. Shreyas Iyer, on the back of his brilliant performances in Vijay Hazare, Syed Mushtaq Ali and Ranji Trophy, he also gets the nod in this squad. KL Rahul is going to be the #1 keeper batter. Hardik Pandya, designated all-rounder, pace bowling all-rounder. Akshar Patel. Kuldeep Yadav makes a return to India's team. Remember, he last featured for India in the New Zealand series in 2024 in the Test series, but then he missed the South Africa T20Is and the Border Gavaskar Trophy to manage a long-term groin injury, and now he has worked on it. He's fit and is back in the squad, and so is Mohammad Shami, who has made his return to the ODI team now after a gap of 14 months. Remember, he's also a part of the T20I squad that's going to take on England in a 5-match series next week starting January 22nd. Arshdeep Singh. Jasprit Bumrah has also made it to the squad, but there is an asterisk against his name as his availability is going to be subject to fitness, and if he is deemed unfit for the England ODIs and the Champions Trophy, then Harshit Rana will replace Bumrah in the squad. But one thing is for sure and one thing is confirmed, and that's what we also said at Sports Today. We were the first ones to report this thing, that Bumrah would make it to the Champions Trophy squad, and it has happened. But then it is his final participation is going to be subject to fitness. Rishabh Pant, the backup wicketkeeper batter. Ravindra Jadeja, Washington Sundar and Yashasvi Jaiswal. What do you make of the squad, Shashwat?
I think very expected side. There are no shockers in that sense. Only one, if we have to look at a shock in that sense, is Shubman Gill being named the vice captain.
Why is it a shocker?
Because it could have been Jasprit Bumrah. Because we have been talking about the fact that in place of Rohit Sharma, if somebody will be captaining the side, it would have been Jasprit Bumrah. I would have expected that. Shubman Gill, when there were so many doubts on his place in the team, we have to remember that there were doubts not because of his form was not doing well in ODI cricket, but in Test cricket and in the shortest format as well. But now that he's been named the vice captain in the long format as far as white ball cricket is concerned, I think that the selectors have not mixed formats at all. They've gone very clearly ahead with whatever forms the players were having in ODI cricket, and that's a very, very big reason why Gill not just being a sure shot pick in the 11 but also being named the vice captain, and I think that's the same reason they have picked a Rishabh Pant in place of a Sanju Samson as well, because like Nikhil sir also reported yesterday that Sanju Samson has definitely had a great time in white ball cricket, but it's been in the shortest format in T20 cricket, whereas Rishabh Pant, there's not too much to differentiate between Rishabh Pant and Sanju Samson in ODI cricket specifically, but because Rishabh Pant has been the front runner and Rishabh Pant has that experience more of an ICC tournament, that's why the team has gone ahead with Rishabh Pant. Another thing a little surprising for me and odd, and could also be early signs that maybe the team would want to start with an Akshar Patel and Jadeja would be a backup to Akshar Patel. But if Jadeja is a backup, that means that you're still going with the mindset of having a deeper batting lineup. Because if you're not starting with Jadeja, if Jadeja is going to be a backup spinner to an Akshar Patel, then I think you could have gone with a full-time full-time spinner in a Varun Chakravarti. He would have been a part of the discussion definitely, but maybe because we have seen that the team has wanted more lefty options firstly, and also a deeper batting lineup. That's a very big reason why you have gone with Jadeja, so that if Akshar Patel does not have a great time, or at times you want to play 3 spinners, even if you're playing 3 spinners, you're dropping 1 pacer, you can still have a Jadeja who can also strengthen your batting lineup and also contribute with the ball as well. Just one change that is there is that Harshit Rana is going to be in the ODI series. He's part of the ODI squad for the series against England, not a part of the Champions Trophy squad, because Champions Trophy you need to name 15 people, whereas in the England series you can name as many people as you want to because it's not an ICC event. So over there is a Harshit Rana who will be filling the spot for a Jasprit Bumrah. And if Jasprit Bumrah is not fit by the start of the Champions Trophy, then Harshit Rana is going to be there. All in all, I think nothing, no surprise in that sense, no shocker. Shreyas Iyer makes a comeback to the Indian team. KL Rahul being the front runner in terms of wicketkeeper. Yeah, there were some questions on KL Rahul, the wicketkeeper, as well. That if KL Rahul decides not to wicket keep, how will he make a place in this 11? But now the selectors, Ajit Agarkar, has made it clear that he is going to be the first choice wicketkeeper to begin with. Apart from that, or no surprise, if there is another surprise apart from Gill being the vice captain, then I think it is of Mohammad Siraj. That Mohammad Siraj has absolutely been sidelined from the white ball format at this point. This is what this squad suggests me, because no mention of Mohammad Siraj as of now, however much we were able to hear the press conference. I don't know if now, because the press conference is still going on, if there's any mention about him or not, but there was no mention to begin with. He's not even there as the 16th man, as the 4th fast bowler. Just 3 fast bowlers what we were expecting, plus Hardik Pandya in that sense, Shami, Arshdeep and Bumrah, plus you have Hardik Pandya. So I think to begin with, you'll go in with 2 fast bowlers and 3 spinners. 3 spinners will be Aksar, Jadeja and Kuldeep, or you can even have Sundar in place of Aksar or Jadeja, and then 2 fast bowlers in form of Arshdeep and Shami, or Arshdeep or Bumrah, as far as their availability for their fitness is concerned.
I think, obviously, before we get into any more discussion, there's going to be a detailed talk that we will have on Sports Today Live shortly after we finish, giving you the latest updates of India's Champions Trophy squad and the England ODI squad. There's going to be full panel. We'll be joined by Nikhil Naz. We'll be joined by Harshit also in that matter. And there's going to be a proper discussion as to, what you really think about India's Champions Trophy squad. What are your thoughts? We'll obviously take your comments. There's going to be more discussion on the major talking points of some players not being selected, as to why a certain Rishabh Pant was ahead of Sanju Samson or not. So that's going to be the case. But yeah, I think the first looks of what I feel about the squad, I think obviously one good thing that maybe the BCCI have done is to have Shubman Gill as the designated vice captain. I think that has been the path that the BCCI chose after winning the T20 World Cup in 2024. Gill was the captain in the Zimbabwe T20I series. Then he was also the vice captain in Sri Lanka T20s and the Sri Lanka ODIs too. Did not really take part in the Bangladesh T20Is and the South Africa T20Is because there had to be some rest given to him to prepare more for the test matches that took place against Bangladesh, New Zealand and Australia. So good that maybe BCCI is going in the direction of Shubman Gill, that they want him to be the next captain of India in the 2 white ball formats. Virat definitely makes the cut despite having a poor run in Test cricket. Good that BCCI haven't really mixed formats. Shreyas Iyer, a well-deserved call-up. Same for KL Rahul, Hardik. Akshar also, his stocks have been rising, although his ODI numbers haven't really been up to the mark. But then I think he did deserve a selection primarily because of his good bowling that he has, that he's capable of. And secondly, his ability to hit sixes, something that India would need lower down the order during the Champions Trophy and even the England ODI series too. Good that Kuldeep Yadav has made a comeback. It's great that, he's made full recovery from his groin injury. Also good to see Mohammad Shami. That adds a lot of steam and fire to the ODI squad for that matter, or even the pace attack. Then there is going to be Arshdeep Singh. His stocks have also risen across formats now. See, he has been playing county cricket, is also a consistent member of India's T20I team, and has also been in and around the ODI team too. Like, he played the series against South Africa last year in 2023 and 2024. Even did well in the ODIs against Sri Lanka in 2024. A total of 3 ODIs that India played last year. So maybe he gives you that variety of being a left-arm pacer, and that's what the Indian cricket team has basically focused more on. Then there is Ravindra Jadeja. Despite not really having the best of the outings in the ODI format in the last couple of years or so, he has been persisted. His experience definitely, has been given the nod. Washington Sundar, his stocks have also been rising. And I think there is maybe Yashasvi Jaiswal. He is going to be the backup opener in the batter. So overall, most of the bases have been covered. Obviously, there's going to be a detailed discussion that we will do. In case you have just joined us, India have announced their squad, and it's pretty much on the expected lines that we at Sports Today, broke it to you yesterday. We were the first ones to basically tell you that Bumrah would make the cut for the 15-member squad. There is going to be no place for Sanju Samson, and as on the similar lines, he hasn't been picked. There's no place for Karun Nair also, despite averaging an awe-inspiring 752 in the ongoing Vijay Hazare Trophy. So these were the updates that we gave to you. We also told you yesterday, were the first ones to tell you that there's going to be no place for a certain Mohammad Siraj also. His place was also under the scanner, and he hasn't really been picked. Pant would be the backup keeper batter, and that is what the BCCI has announced.
I think two things that are really getting a lot of attention. I think firstly, Karun Nair bit. I think the chief selector, the first question that was asked after the team was announced was on Karun Nair, and to that he said that there's definitely it's very less. There are very less seasons like the one Karun Nair is currently having. He's still playing the final of the Vijay Hazare is currently going on, but then again the problem is that there is no place. Who would have Karun Nair actually replaced? A lot of questions I'm just reading. I was just going through the comments as well, are that maybe a Shreyas Iyer could have made way for a Karun Nair. But I think one thing that I really liked about this selection is that the team hasn't mixed formats at all. We here were definitely having questions on the place of a Shubman Gill, that maybe a Yashasvi Jaiswal could come in place of a Shubman Gill, but we have to remember that as far as ODI numbers is concerned, Shubman Gill has no questions that should be asked on Shubman Gill, because the kind of numbers that he has in ODI cricket, I think they speak for themselves, and that's exactly what the selectors have seen. And that's the second question also a lot of people would be talking about. What people should realize is that the kind of low form that Shubman Gill has happened in test cricket to an extent, and we should not be mixing formats. The selectors have realized that Shubman Gill in white ball cricket and Shubman Gill in red ball cricket are very two different things, and that's a very big reason why he's been given vice captaincy, because his numbers in ODI cricket are definitely numbers that, if we just go by the numbers of him in ODI cricket, and then that's why you cannot be dropping a Shubman Gill and getting in a Yashasvi Jaiswal, and that's what the selectors have exactly done. Akshar Patel's name taken ahead of Jadeja. I don't know how much we should be reading into it. I don't know, maybe a Jadeja could start, or you could see Jadeja, Akshar and Kuldeep all three start together, because Jadeja will also give you the left-handed option in the batting lineup, and so will Akshar Patel for that matter. So it's definitely a well-balanced side, the side that we were expecting. Mohammad Shami, I would be interested to see him a little bit more in the white ball series against England.
Specifically in the T20s.
Yeah, even in the ODIs for that matter, because going into the Champions Trophy, he'll just get some game time in international cricket. Then we will sort of, then he can straight away go warmed up in the Champions Trophy.
Let me just, brief our viewers about a couple of the latest updates that we have. That Mohammad Siraj has been dropped. Now, this has been confirmed that he has been dropped from the Champions Trophy squad. There isn't any injury that he has suffered, nor has been any other case, or he maybe has asked for any personal leave. Mohammad Siraj has been dropped. And also one of the things that Rohit Sharma has said in the presser, that they are not really sure if Bumrah is going to play or not. So one thing is confirmed, and even we also, broke it to you at Sports Today, that Bumrah would not be fit for the first couple of ODIs. We did it yesterday, and that's what Rohit Sharma and the chairman of selectors, Ajit Agarkar, has confirmed, that Jasprit Bumrah will not be fit for the first couple of ODIs against England. Remember, India and England are going to face off in a 3-match ODI series, February 6th, 9th and 12th, which means that Bumrah will not feature in the first 2 ODIs on 6th and 9th. And if at all he is fit from his back swelling that he suffered during the 5th and final test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, then only they will consider Bumrah's possible selection for the Champions Trophy squad. And also, Ajit Agarkar has mentioned his take on the new BCCI's policies, and he has specifically mentioned that they are just rules. They aren't really punishing any kind of players. They are calling, obviously they feel that the current players, the current crop, they are matured enough to know what they really have to do, what is good for them, how they can really ensure there is cohesion within the team, how they can ensure those professional standards. And that's basically about it as far as he has said about the BCCI's new policy. Shivam, can we just go up.
And we will be joining you guys
Yeah.
for a longer discussion with Nikhil sir, who will be joining us from the BCCI headquarters itself. He's there at the meeting. He will be joining from there. We will also have Harshit sir joining us for the longer discussion. So stay tuned for that. We'll be live again very soon, where we'll have a detailed discussion on the squad. This is the first up reaction that we are coming up with. That as soon as the squad has been announced, we have come with you. And like we reported yesterday, that's exactly how things have turned out to be today.
Yeah, and also Rohit has explained as to why they have left Mohammad Siraj, and they have been very clear that they only wanted 3 seamers for the Dubai conditions, and it's unfortunate that Siraj had to be dropped. They had no option, but they wanted to give specific roles to specific players, and that's why maybe a certain Arshdeep Singh, he offers a variety with.
But if that would have been the case, then you would not have gone in with a Harshit Rana as your backup to Jasprit Bumrah.
I think this is something that obviously we can talk about in detail in the discussion that we had. And he's also explained a few of as to why they have included Shami now, despite him making a comeback after a long time. Maybe he would not really have that kind of zip that he first displayed during the ODI World Cup in 2023 and prior to that. So they are trusting more on the Shami's experience. And Rohit has also had his say on Gautam Gambhir, that he's someone who trusts the captain, and once obviously Gambhir is on the field, he trusts the captain to do all the job. So this is pretty much the thing that
we'll just take you through the squad once again before we say goodbye and join you again very shortly. So it's Rohit Sharma who will be leading the side as we expected. Shubman Gill, the vice captain. Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, all of these names were expected. KL Rahul being the first choice wicket keeper. Hardik Pandya. So basically the top 5 are going to remain the same as far as what we played in the 2023 ODI World Cup as well. Then Hardik Pandya, who was later sidelined because of an injury. Akshar Patel is another name who's made it to the side. Kuldeep Yadav, there was some speculations on his name that if he's going to make the team or not due to the injury, but he has made a comeback. Mohammad Shami returns to the Indian team, and it was very much expected after he was named in the India's team for the 5-match T20I series. Arshdeep Singh makes the cut for ODI cricket. Jasprit Bumrah, subject to fitness, he has also been named in the Indian team. Rishabh Pant, the second wicket keeper. Lots of questions on should have been Sanju Samson or Rishabh Pant. We'll be discussing about that in the live that we do very shortly. Ravindra Jadeja has made the cut. Washington Sundar and Yashasvi Jaiswal has also made it to the 15.
Yeah. So that's about it. And as Shashwat has rightly mentioned, that we'll be joining you very shortly with a detailed discussion of India's Champions Trophy squad, proper analysis, and what are the good things that maybe the BCCI have done, or maybe where they have probably missed a chance to include a certain player. So don't go anywhere. We will be live very shortly with a full panel, including Nikhil Nas and Harshit Ahuja, and obviously myself, Siddharth, and Shashwat joining us for that. So stay tuned to Sports Today as we'll bring you all the latest analysis from the sporting world.